Hello and welcome back to LUKE-N-SHAE'S place. I hope you're wearing your smile. Hope you're having a great day. Before I begin, I want to say thank you to all the veterans who have served and who are still serving, but I just want to say thank you. This is Memorial Day weekend and I just want to show my appreciation by saying thank you so much for your service. I really appreciate it. So I have a banger reaction video planned for you guys, but before I begin, if you haven't already, go ahead and click click that like button. Go ahead, that puts me in the algorithm so that other viewers can find me. And don't forget to share this content. That helps to grow our platform. And also don't forget to comment, put a heart down in the comment section. Also, just give me some feedback and definitely welcome your feedback, or just go ahead and comment and I'll reply back to you. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you have, I thank you so much. Luke and I thank you for that. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free. And don't forget to click that notification bell so that you get notified when we'll be posting. So today I'm bringing to you a video from, let me see, you can, in the description section, you'll find the content creator of the video. And the video that I'm going to be bringing to you today is from, hold on, let me just make sure here. Okay, so we have, and of course my little notes here fell as I was bringing that information. Here we go. Lizandra. I believe that is her name, Lizandra. So for you guys, you could go ahead in the description section. You'll find the information for this video. But I want to talk about men who basically let that good woman get away, right? We had that, you know, some guys that are actually talking about they had the good woman, but they're taking accountability for letting her get away. And after that, basically, from what just the description of the video, they haven't met anyone, or I don't know. We'll see. Let's do a real reaction. I only watched a snippet of it, so that way I knew what I was going to be bringing to you, but I would like to see more in this video, and let's hear what these men have to say, where they let a good woman get away, and let's see what regrets they might be having with that. Have they ever found anyone to resemble that good woman that they let get away, or was there anybody else in their life that was comparable to her? So let's take a look and see what these guys are saying. All right, let's go. Okay, and again, before I begin, go ahead in the description section. On all of my reaction videos, you will find the information for the content creator whose video I'll be using. Again, that's Lizandra. She has good content. Go over and check her out. She's putting up some good content over there, but that'll be in the description section where you can find this video. But let's dive into it. Let's go.
You know, one of the worst parts is when you lose her. She gave me multiple chances. And what I mean by that is, she told me what was bothering her. I ignored it. She told me I disrespected her. I ignored it. She caught me in a lie. I lied and ignored it. I just kept on ignoring everything because I felt like she would never leave me. The moment she left is when I realized I ignored everything that was bothering her, and she was giving me multiple chances before she would leave. And the moment she left, I wish I never ignored anything that she asked me to do. She cared for me. She loved me. She asked me to change my ways multiple times. And I still continued to ignore her. And when I lost her, my life changed. It's not there no more. She was a good woman. And I know I messed up. I made the biggest mistake. Somebody has a diamond right now, and I ended up with nobody. I'm alone. So next time she gives you warnings, just know, my dude, she'll leave if you ignore her. She'll find somebody, probably some.
Wow, to start it off like that, wow. He said somebody else has a diamond right now. He just ignored her. She was telling him, hey, whatever she was telling him in their relationship, and he just ignored it. And he said, basically, his life hasn't been the same. This is deep, starting off deep. Wow. Okay, let's hear more. And I would love to read your comments. Guys, have you ever had a woman that was a good woman, and you might not have realized it then, but until she left you and she walked out of your life, it could have been a couple months later, even a year later, or even now at the time in your life now with other women that you might have dated. Do you realize now, like, wow, I had that good woman? Because a lot of times men, I see a lot of guys out here today, and I'm not taking accountability from the women and how some of the women are out here acting. And listen, trust me, I see it. But have you had the good woman already? Was that woman already in your life, and now you're just trying to find her again? But maybe because you let her slip away, is this now, your time where you're supposed to get yourself together so that you don't possibly keep dogging out that good woman? I don't know. Just tell me in the comments if you ever experienced that before, but let's hear more.
Somebody 10 times better than you because he actually listens. I admit I fucked up. And now I have to suffer the consequences when I lost a good one.
Every guy has that one girl that they fumbled, bro. They fumbled so hard and they still think about till this day. Like, the babe fit the criteria. For some reason, you're just too cocky. You just didn't care about her, bro. Didn't treat her good. And then when she left, that's when you actually felt it. You don't realize what you got until she's gone. Like, when you had her, you were just, you just link her, not treat her nice. Then when she goes, you realize, like, damn, how good you had it, bro. You had it good. You'll just be laying in bed and like just hands behind your back, looking at the ceiling like, yo, I fumbled the biggest bag, bro. Like, this girl was perfect. I'm a dickhead. It's like, you can't even blame the girl. You gotta blame yourself, because she didn't do nothing wrong. You did everything wrong, bro. Like, that's the saddest part about it. You can't blame anyone else. You have to take it in and be like, yo, I fumbled that bag. I fumbled it. I know some of you man still to this day still think about that one babe, fam. I know you man sort of like, you reminisce. You wish you could go back in time and stop.
Does that happen to some of you guys out here? Just curious. Are you reminiscing about that one girl that you let slip away, the one that got away? Are you thinking about that now? Like, wow, are you running into dead ends when it comes to women? Like, oh, wow, are you one of the guys that are saying, I can't find anybody, there's no good woman out here? But can you actually go back in your past and say, you know what, I actually had her. She was there all along, and I just, like they're saying, I fumbled it. I fumbled that whole relationship. Let's go. Let's hear more. This is deep. Let's go.
Stop and just stop. Actually treat the babe nicely.
Fellas, so I'm gonna tell you a quick story time about the one that got away in my life. So about 2 years ago, I had met this woman, got acquainted with this woman or whatever it may be. And she, at the time, one of the best women that I've ever met and that I've ever been with in my life. I'm talking about she, a wonderful person. She was a smart lady in the healthcare field. She was very in school, very motivated, very beautiful, in shape. She cooked, she cooked clean, she was smart. Her family loved her, the people around her loved her. She was just a very vibrant and a very wonderful individual, and I really admired the way that she carried herself.
She sounds like a good woman. Hey, he has to keep going. She sounds like everything that I hear men want. I'm curious to why he let her get away.
So she's very traditional. She covered herself up. She wasn't like some of the new age women that we see today, and no disrespect to those ladies. At that time, I wasn't a bad man, but I didn't have everything together. My mental wasn't right. The way that I was carrying myself wasn't together. The way that I presented myself wasn't together. And I was one of those men that allowed red pill podcasts or certain content on the internet or certain things that we see on the internet talking about how men should be the women, how women should be the men and stuff like that. I was one of those guys that fell victim, and I'm holding myself accountable. But I was one of those guys that fell victim to that bullshit and thinking that that's how relationships and that's how people should be. And that was a big reason, my attitude and the way that I looked at life. That was
So he's not the first person that I heard mention that. I heard a couple other gentlemen mention that they were listening to different platforms with the red pill on social media. That, just go out here and not saying that all red pills saying, hey, run through women, but, women, a lot of them are saying women ain't shit today. There's nothing that a woman has to offer a man, and, the women of today, it's just, it's a lot of negativity. And what I'm seeing, some guys are realizing and are waking up to realize that while they're believing that and they're brainwashed into that whole thing, and I'm not saying, listen, that's not taken away from some of the messages that the red pill community is pushing, because yeah, women, we need to get back to being women, being ladies, being, but in the same breath, when you're putting everybody in a category and you're saying, hey, nobody out here, he was running through women and treating them like that. And I'm hearing men say that. They're coming up and saying, you know what? While I had that mindset, believing that, and I was just dogging out women, running through women, I was missing my opportunity to actually enjoy a good woman. I had her right before my eyes and, and messed it all up because he wasn't thinking about long-term relationship. He was just treating her as a here and now. But let's see how that worked out for him.
That was a big reason why that relationship had came to an end, and I'm no longer in that, and I fumbled that. And my ego was big, super arrogant, super whatever. I was just letting the wrong information get in my mind, and I end up losing a wonderful woman. If the man that I am today, if I was that man then, we would have been married, we would have had kids by now. But even though I lost that lady, even though I fumbled that woman, what I learned was after I really went through a process of working on myself, evolving, getting my mind right, becoming better, seeing what it truly means to be a man, seeing what it truly means to be a man to a woman, and seeing how a man should carry himself, how a man should operate, how a man should be. Once I done the work and I focused on becoming the best version of myself, I started to notice that the more that I evolved, the more that I started meeting women that were equal to her or that was just as great as she was and still were wonderful people, gave me wonderful experiences and things of that nature. So fellas, a lot of times we as men, we gonna fumble a good woman, whether it's one, whether it's two, whether it's three. But what you need to know is the more that you grow, the more that you become better, the more that you start to improve, the more that you evolve in all areas of your life, you are gonna come across women that are amazing and that are wonderful. And it's on you as a man to make sure that you don't f that up, because you can f it up if you're not right up here and if you're not doing the right things.
She was the love of my life, and I was too stupid to realize it, and I lost her because of something so dumb I don't even remember. I never really got over her, and I let her go. I just let her go because I was too damn proud to tell her how I really felt about her. I'll tell you something that I wish I knew when I was your age, and I know you've heard a million times, life is short, but let me tell you something. What this is teaching me is that life is goddamn short, and you can't waste a minute of it.
No, it's a movie, but he's spitting facts too.
Guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those who are new, my name is Lisa,
And this is the
judging by the
content
title,
creator
you
right
already
here.
know what this
Again,
video is
it'll
all
be in the
about.
description.
So
You can go
ladies,
check
have you
out
ever walked
her
away from a man,
information
or has a man
down
ever
in the
walked away
description
from you?
section.
And for
woman who you put your head on her shoulder and she comforts you will be the one.
And you know what sucks, Tim? I had her and I lost her. I had had her in that season of me just going with the flow. I knew where you was going, and like literally my eyes are getting red. And I said, I'm not going to cry on this man's show. I had her. She wanted it. I couldn't give it because I've never seen a vulnerable man before. I've never seen a man lead with vulnerability, lead with that level of like, I'm going to trust you with my weakness. I've always seen the great men in my life, my fathers, lead with strength. Yeah. But never lead with, I'm going to rest my head on your shoulder. Because I did that one day accidentally on her, and she lifted up her hand and rubbed my head. And when she rubbed my head, I immediately jumped up. Because my manhood was like, no, she's supposed to be on yours. And I was like, I've never done this. Let me get up. But then when I matured, when I evolved, I was like, I'm tired.
Wow, that is something what he said. And I hear men that actually go through life thinking that too, that it shows weakness if he has vulnerability in a relationship. It's like they equate it with him being feminine, like, oh wow, I can't do that because men don't do this, I can't do that because that, then it just looks like I'm lesser than a man. And so he's saying that because he's seen the men in his life be a certain way, that he couldn't be vulnerable in his relationship when he had that good woman. And she was just trying to say, hey, look, I'm here. I'm your help. It's okay for you to lay your head on my shoulder. You're not going to have every day is not going to be 100%. And we're in your life, us women, we're in your life to be your helpmate. So my thing is, if you're not having that great day, okay, I'm supposed to be there to pick you up. I'm supposed to be there for support. I'm supposed to try to put that smile back on your face, however that looks. But it's okay for you to have your moments of silence, or just sometimes you just might not want to say nothing at all, and you might just want to lay down on my shoulder. It's okay. I have shoulders too. I have shoulders too. So it's not just your shoulder is supposed to be there for me, but I'm also for you. But some men feel like that's a sign of weakness. I can't let her see a tear coming out of my eye. Like I'm hurting in this moment. I don't know where this next thing's going to come from. And as a man, I feel like I have to have it all together, but it's okay to have those moments. That doesn't make you less than a man. And he's saying that because this is how he was, that he ran that good woman off. But let's hear more. That's interesting.
Tired of always being strong. I'm tired of always having to act like I got it together and I have every single answer. And I broke down in therapy and realized I'm not that strong. I am strong, but I ain't that strong to where I could do it all by myself.
The grass ain't greener. The grass ain't greener, bro. Don't compare your woman or your man to some shit that you only see on Instagram, you only see on Twitter. Because you only seeing this person for a split second in a picture or in a 30-second clip. You don't know if this person got credit problems. You don't know if this person got family problems. You don't know if this person then came off a kid. You don't know a lot of, bro. Stay with your woman that's with you right then and there, bro. Just always remember, I chose this woman for a reason. And if she's not executing to the level that you expected her to execute, look at yourself first. Don't look at outside your marriage and looking at other women. Look at yourself and see what you could be doing better.
That's facts, guys. What do you feel about that? Put it in the comments.
He would have never cheated on a woman that he wanted to be with at that time. Now, this man get a lot of women's attention, a lot. And he said as a young man, he couldn't control himself. Every woman that was throwing it at him that was fine, he was taking it. And sometimes he would cheat on the girl that he was with, and not that he done, he'll literally start thinking to himself, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? So he said he started feeling bad, and then he didn't want to talk to the girl. And then when he got home, he just felt like something was eating at him. He said over the time he wasn't getting caught, so he started getting number and number and number to the feeling. Until one day she called him up, and that one day cost him everything. The crazy part about it, he wasn't even married. He was so hurt that the decision that he made took him away from his family. He said, man, I messed up, man. I had a woman that was a good woman. She cooked, she cleaned, she respected me. She did everything I wanted a woman to do as a young man. He said when he was in his early 20s cheating on that young lady, that was the dumbest thing or the dumbest mistake he ever made. And this the part that blew my mind, right? He said when she found out, she was hurt. She didn't want to talk to him. He said they started talking again because they had a child together. But she quickly turned her feelings off. He said he would go to her saying that he was sorry and think that things could change. They can get back together. But every single time he said he's sorry, she says, I know, and I forgive you. I just hope you find the person that you're looking for. He said every woman that he done dealt with from that point on, the way she carried herself, the way she stood on business, and she told him while they was dating, before they had a child, if you play with me once, you will never have a chance to play with me again. And that one time, he never got a chance to do it.
Wow, that's something right there. That's something. He was just playing the field in that relationship. He had a good woman. And I'm hearing the guy say that, she cooked, she cleaned, she did everything that you would want a wife to do. And it sounds like this guy he's talking about had a child with that woman. And the story sounds too familiar for me. And what the woman told him in the beginning of the relationship, that's funny because in my 20s, I remember as an early, teen, my first relationship. And, I remember that's what I would tell guys. Now, was that right for me to say to a guy? I remember saying, hey, listen, I'm good with stuff. We can make up things. We're going to go through things. But if you cheat on me, I can't tell you if I can bounce back from that. Now, to give somebody that warning, and I've been told before that, you shouldn't go in a relationship and giving somebody that warning, telling that man, hey, I'm not going to forgive you if you do that. But my thing is, if I know myself and I know that something is going to be a make it or break it point, for me, okay, especially if we aren't married yet and that's happening, and I'm telling you that I believe in my heart that, yeah, I can go into the relationship and let you know that, because people have their deal breakers. You see these shows today where they're popping the balloon but they're telling, hey, as soon as they come on there, what's your deal breaker? What is your things that you like? What is the fun things you like to do? I'm telling you from the gate in a relationship, when I'm getting to know you, hey, these are the fun things I like to do. Everything's not going to be about fun. I need you to know that there's another side in this relationship. If you cross this line, listen, I don't know what's going to happen from there. I can forgive you, but that doesn't mean that I have to be with you, because I don't feel like I was put here to fix you. Okay, and that's a problem that I know I've had, where you get in a relationship and this person still has growing to do. And a lot of, times guys will say to me, hey, well, a good woman, she'll stay until he's, basically done with his foolishness. He's done playing the field. But I'm like, how is that fair to that woman? And then I had a guy tell me, well, it's not about her fairness. It's a duty, she should stay around, and you never know that guy, he'll turn into a man eventually. I don't think that's the right advice to give a woman, because if I see that you have a lot of growing up to do and we're only dating, do you think I should be walking down the aisle with that person and praying that he'll change eventually? No, I feel like you should already come into that relationship and say, you know what, I'm done. If you're getting into a relationship with me, you're telling me that I'm the only one for you. You don't have eyes for somebody else. I'm not saying that guys are not going to be attracted to other women. I'm not saying that you don't go blind when you start dating someone. But I'm saying it's time to put that foolishness aside, leave that crap for the playground, and you're getting into an exclusive relationship with somebody. That's telling me, okay, I'm the one that you want, and hopefully this is going to lead up to marriage, because we date with a purpose, right? I don't know too many people. Maybe there are some people that date and it's just that's what it is. But I've always dated with a purpose of, hopefully it leading to marriage. So I'm not going to waste your time. Don't waste mine. And if I see in our dating periods you're cheating, to me that's telling me that you don't want me, because somebody who wants me is not going to do that. And I'm not saying people don't make mistakes, but just listening to these guys, it's like they took the woman for granted. It's like, I'm still going to be out here doing this. I know she's a great woman. She cooks, she cleans. She's the woman that I should be wifing up right now. She's the one. But I'm going to play her for all these other chicks that I wouldn't even give a time of day being their husband. I'm going to just be out here sticking and moving when I got the good woman at home. So that's interesting, because that's a true story that happened. And, just warning someone, hey, listen, we're going to have issues. I can forgive for different things, but I don't know if when you cross that line and you actually cheat on me, I don't know how I'm going to be, because I don't condone to that. And guys, I would like to hear your comments. Have you ever had that happen where you took somebody for granted and there was no way back to her heart after that? Was there a moment where you just noticed there was a change, even if she stayed? Did you see that she was just far off? Because sometimes, and I believe this in my heart, sometimes you can have a good girl that does everything that you desired a woman to do. Like, man, she's great. Like you said, my family loves her. She does everything that I would want my wife to do. But then you dog her out, and eventually she might forgive a few times. And I'm not saying I've never forgave. Trust me, I did. But you get to a point where you might have a breaking point where you had enough. Because when it starts to be a repetitive thing that happens with me, when it started to be something that happened more than once, more than 2 times, then you start to look at it like, okay, what is my purpose in this person's life? I'm just here to do the cooking, the cleaning, what else is the purpose? Because obviously, clearly, you can't be faithful to me. So there's a disconnect somewhere. And so it just made me start to just not be that person where I normally would have been by his side. I started to fall off. So can you make a good girl go bad? Can you make a good girl go bad? Because that girl that once wanted to sit home and wait for him, like, oh, I know he's out with his boys. And can you make a girl just one day just say, you know what, I'm going to start going out. I'm going to start, because in those times being young and you're constantly getting played, you also have to know that she has somebody that she can go to. She has a friend where you're like, girl, I think I'm getting played. I don't think, and her friends are going to say, why are you staying with that guy? Why are you staying? And you love the person, but is it wrong for her to walk away? Because I'm seeing a lot of guys on here saying, wow, eventually. I'm thinking, what did you guys think was going to happen? And I guess taking a good girl for granted because you see that she normally would stay until the day she doesn't, and you're like, wait a minute, she's leaving me? You thought she was just going to stay, and he had a child with her from the guy in this story. So then now she has a child, and now she goes through life, and now she's looked at as the woman that a lot of the men today will talk about, like, oh man, the woman of today, you ain't gonna find a virgin, they have a child, whatever. Well, the person that she had the child with, and I'm not saying it's not backwards because it should have been married. I get it. Things happen. Listen, But that guy that she loved and had the child with, that should have been the one who wiped her up. But he was too busy playing her, right? He was too busy playing her. So now the next guy's going to come along and now he's looking like, okay, I have a package deal. Now he has to say yes or no to this. Now it's not going to be easy for her now to get in a relationship because she's coming with child. And so now guys are looking at, oh man, you don't got women out here that don't have kids, whatever. But they're not taking accountability to know they once was that same guy that was out here playing the field, sticking and moving, and you're making these good women. Now you're pushing her aside to move on to somebody else. And no, she's not a virgin. She was in a relationship with the guy that should have been her husband, but he was too busy playing her. So it's something though. I would love to hear and see your comments and have you ever had this happen? And women, when do you have enough? Is the first time he cheat, is that enough? Is that a sign for you to walk away? Let me know. Let's see more what they have to say.
Do it again. He said on the day of her wedding night, he cried because it hurt him so bad to see her walk down the aisle with a good guy. He said, so Lil Sean, if you ever get you a good woman and she good to you, you make sure you stay home and do everything in your power to keep that relationship going. And if she do right by you and you do right by her, it won't be hard to do it. Moral of the story is, that good woman for life is not worth losing for that good moment for the night. This was your warning before destruction. I'll see you in the next video. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Unfortunately, that's how a lot of men learn how to appreciate a woman, is watching her go be happy with somebody else. We didn't feel like she was going nowhere. We felt like, hey, I could do whatever I want to do. She gonna be here. She may get mad, she may argue, she may storm out, but she gonna come back. And we gonna pick up where we left off. And all that's fine and good until that one day that she say, you know what? It's over with. I'm gone. And you can't get an argument out of her. You can't get a emotional reaction out of her. It's just complete indifference. It's complete laser focus on me being out of here. And you all at the job on bended knee with flowers and all that when you had the chance to show that woman how much she meant to you. You had the chance to prioritize that woman. You had the chance to take her on that one date that she been asking you to take her on for 4 months. You had the chance. You chose not to do it. And now you on the voice notes crying. Don't be on the voice note crying now. You had the chance.
I've been in a situation, I've had a great woman. I effed it up. You in a situation, you don't realize how good that situation is. But now when you remove from that situation, you're like, damn, man, I really messed this up.
So it's been officially 20 months now since I lost who I thought was the love of my life. Ironically, today's her birthday. I didn't want to remember that, but unfortunately I do. And anything you can possibly think of, such as pour into yourself, read books, journal, meditate, therapy, I've done pretty much all of that. And it still doesn't change the fact that it did hurt one day. And oftentimes after a breakup, we don't talk about the fact that not only are we mourning the loss of a person, but we're also mourning the loss of a future that we created with that person that we never get to travel to. So I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the fact that you're not alone, because I know how it feels. Not only to lose the person who you thought was the love of your life, but to also lose a future that you might not ever get to travel to with that person. So, I'm not saying that I'm not happy with where I am. I'm so grateful for how far I've come with loving myself. But I'm still missing the fact that there was a future that I envisioned where I would be.
You know, going through that breakup.
Yeah, this is deep. And so, as I'm listening to these men talk about the one that they lost, the one that they let get away, I have to wonder if men, when you're watching this, because I know there's a lot of guys out here who seem to think that if a man has feelings or if a man does something nice for a woman these days, because now they're eliminating that. There's some people where you can't even open the door for your woman without the word coming out that you're a simp. And I think that's going too far because it takes away chivalry. And I don't think you should eliminate that in a relationship. I don't think so. It's almost like you're saying that a woman doesn't deserve anything good coming from a man. He has to be this hard figure where, everything's my way. And it's like it eliminates the actual bonding, the actual love that she can have for a man because he's just cut and dry. And a woman needs that, we need that, yeah, hold the door for me. Show me that you love me as well. Like reciprocate my love, not just a one-sided thing where you want me to cook, you want me to clean, you want me to do 50 million things, which listen, hey, I get it. I'm all for that. But you just being a provider and protector, that's great and everything, but there's ways that you can show your woman that you love her and it doesn't make you a simp. And I wish men out here would stop believing that. It's okay for you to have your feelings. And again, the woman who she had her man, he didn't even do it on purpose, but he said one day he just laid on her shoulder, he was just going through something and she started to rub his head and comfort him. And he jumped up like, oh my goodness, oh no, I'm too masculine for this. I can't have. And it's a shame that we're going through life like that. It's okay. You're behind closed doors with your woman. You don't have to be this hard because that's not, that's pushing people away. I'm telling you right now, it's okay for you to have feelings. God made you that way. If he didn't make you that way, you wouldn't have tear ducts. I always tell people that. You wouldn't have tear ducts. And I'm not saying to boo-hoo about every single thing, but it's okay, That doesn't make you less than a man, but does it make you a simp to talk like these men? Because I know for one, when I do reaction videos, not that I have done a lot of them, and I'm glad to have found this one, but when it's a man talking about, okay, how he lost his woman and regrets for that, I'll have just some conversation with men who will say, wow, they're straight up punks. Like, I don't listen to those simp guys and those men are weak. And when I hear that, it's sad to hear that, but the people that I'm hearing it from, unfortunately, when I think about it, they're single. They're not in a relationship. So I can't even listen to that because I have to take that at face value. Like, you're not in a relationship. You don't have a woman, and could that be why? Instead of learning from that, you see all these men are saying that, and I don't think it makes them a simp. But guys, I would like you to tell me, let me know. Let me get some more feedback on that, and let me know, do you think these men, they're simps because they have feelings? They're missing that one girl. And if you can think about it for yourself, because they say that men, when they have that good woman, they'll think about her for the rest of their life. He could be in another relationship, but his mind will go back to, or sometimes he'll even find himself looking for, and I've seen men do that because, I don't know, sometimes guys I've seen, and I've heard men say that they do that. They'll look to see what their ex is doing. They'll go and try to find her on social media to see if this new guy is better than what he was. They try to look at their exes and see how their life is. To each its own with that. But do you still think about that one girl that you knew, or that would have been like a perfect wife for you? Is that something that you'll do for the rest of your life? Is that something that happens with men? But I would like to know, do you guys think that these are simps because they're missing that woman? Are they actually telling us that I once had a good woman, I let her slip away. So I'm taking full accountability for my life right now because I was too busy playing the field, or I wasn't paying her any mind, or I was too busy in my masculine, mindset where I just ignored anything she was asking of me. Let me know. Let's go.
I've done crazy things, man. I drove around wishing she would call me so I can roll up to her house. I pass by sometimes wishing that I can get her back, but I can't. I lost her. I start looking at her social media. I start looking at her Facebook, her posts. I don't want to lose her, but I already did. But yet I sit there in the dark and I cry alone, hoping she's gonna call me back. Weeks pass, months. She's gone. She may have found somebody else, and now I'm overthinking at night. I'm crying, but there are no tears. I'm in pain, but I also feel numb as well. Love can make you or break you, but when it breaks you, it's hard to not spiral. Out of control. I love her, man, but I know I can't get her back anymore. I lost her.
A girl that I loved very much let me go and found someone new, and that met a bunch of my other problems, and it created a real storm, so I just wanted to relax and watch college football today, but I couldn't. I couldn't sit there and look at that screen because, bro, I wasn't watching college football. I was watching myself read the text message, I'm with someone new.
I've never seen a man fumble a good woman and have a good life. Like, I've just never seen it. And honestly, I want to be proven wrong. But every time God, let's say, blesses a man with a really good woman, like an angel, that's not perfect, but she wants to. She wants to try. She wants to be there for you. She's supporting you. She's thinking about your goals and dreams. She wants to build a life with you. And you fumble her, or you cheat on her, or you don't appreciate her. And then you lose her. Let's say you break up with her. She breaks up with you. I've just never seen men come back from that. Like, when they get that blessing and they lose it, God takes a while to bless them again, because a lot of times a lot of men don't understand that favor that you're getting on your life is because you have a good woman next to you, either praying for you, pushing for you, working with you, making sure that they're grinding with you, seeing where you're failing so they can come in and try to help you out. But when you lose that woman, or you push them to the point where they no longer even want to try anymore, the comeback is hard.
Now, how many of you guys agree with that, what she just said? And as she was saying that, I was like, my brain was like calculating people that I know in life to have had that happen. And one of my siblings, I think about my brother, one of my brothers, rest in peace. And I remember meeting one of his girlfriends, because anytime he had a girlfriend, he would bring them home with my parents, meet my parents, and meet his siblings. We were younger, so. And my favorite girlfriend of his, and I think a lot of my siblings, it was his favorite girlfriend. Oh my goodness, she was everything that, like these guys are saying, that a man would want in a woman. Just by his side, support everything, I believe she's still friends with some of my siblings today. I believe so. And actually, yeah, I seen her at a family function. Yes, she sure was. So, with that being said, when you let that good woman get away, do you ever get back into a relationship? Have men experienced that? Can you guys let me know, if you let that good woman get away, have you ever been blessed to have a woman that was comparable or maybe even better than that woman? Or was she just that one that nobody could compare to. She was that diamond in the rough, and nobody would compare to her. Or have you found yourself in crappy relationships after that, or just relationships that just never went anywhere? Or have you just been single since her? I would like to know, because I think about family members and I think about friends who had that good relationship, that good woman, and they dogged her out or they just let her go. They just, whatever, they fumbled on the play, right? And then she moved on and got married, and she's having her happily ever after. And I think about those guys where they were single. They never met anybody comparable to that woman, and their life just sadly, although they had some good parts in their life and different things, but never in a relationship. So, it's interesting to hear her say that. Let me know what you think in the comments, but let's hear more. Let's go.
Like, it's really hard for you to come back from that. And I haven't seen many men like fumble good women and come back from it fast. Like, I've seen it take years, months, where it's like their quality of life was one way with this woman, and they were living this life, they were living this great life where they're making the money they love, they're, dressed for success, they look amazing, they feel amazing, they start feeling themselves, they start feeling like, like they don't need that woman, they need to get a better woman, they need somebody that looks better, they need somebody that does more. And then they end up fumbling the gift that God gave them, and then they think, oh, I just got to get back on my grind. No, you lost your favor, because your favor was with the person that you were with, that was praying for you, that was fighting for you, and then you mess with that person's heart, or you broke their heart, or you broke their trust, and now you need to go learn that lesson. So you have to go change, you have to go get better before God can bless you with another blessing like that. He has to see that you can handle it, because the first time he blessed you, you lost it. So I would really, really encourage people to really think about that. Like, you guys can say it in the comments. Like, have you ever seen a man like lose a really good woman, like somebody that was really rooting for them, and they come back from it fast?
Things that made me wisen up about being out in the streets too long, right? You start talking to dudes that's in their 40s, their 50s, their 60s about their regrets. And what you hear them all say, and I'm speaking for the ones that don't have a wife in those ages, they wish when they were in their 20s and their 30s that they stopped playing games. Yep. That's the main regret that all of them have. They don't bring up money. They don't bring up time. They bring up the fact that, like, I have wasted my life on insignificant relationships. Right. And I wish right now I had a partner with me, because it was fun back then and I didn't have no wisdom of what's to come. And I realize now a partner would have made my life so much better, so much more rewarding. And that's just that's just the plight of life, right? But you guys have the ability to learn from this. See, that's the thing with social media. You get to see the struggles of other people and learn and say, I got to course correct, because this mindset is not what I really think it is, nor what I want it to be.
He's going to regret it, I know right now you're wondering if he'll ever feel the weight of what he did to you, how he treated you at the end. If he's ever going to understand just how much he actually lost. And the truth? Yeah. He's going to regret it, all right. One day, he's going to look back and he's going to realize that he let go of something real, something good, with someone who only ever wanted to love him right. But that love, it was never good enough for him. But you know what? People always end up regretting losing the good ones. And I know you're one of the good ones, because only the good ones hurt this much. Only the good ones give it everything they got, hanging on until there's nothing left to hold on to, only to be let down in the end. So will he regret it? Yeah, he sure will. But here's what really matters. Where are you going to be by the time he does actually start regretting it? I hope by then you're far away from all this heartache, already on to better things, free from the memory of him draining you, still holding you down. Because you know what? You deserve that. and so much more.
I saw this creator on here talking about how when someone fumbles the bag with you,
Awesome!
Where are you going to be when he finally gets himself together? What he said right there was deep. What all the people that spoke in this video said a lot. And I didn't share the whole video with you guys. Again, it'll be in the description section. If you want to see the whole video, go ahead and check it out. Definitely good work she's doing over there. And you can check out that content creator in my description section. But where are you going to be when he finally decides to settle down and get his life together? Are we as women supposed to wait for him to finally get his life together? And this guy recommends that we don't. This last gentleman that talked, he said, don't. He said, I hope you're so far away from him and you're having a wonderful journey, basically. Your life is taking off and you're just enjoying life with someone who actually wants to stop playing games now and wants to settle down with you now and wants you as a wife now. Because at the end of the day, we don't know when somebody's going to be finished playing games. We don't know when he is going to decide to grow up and say, you know what, let me stop messing with her. You know what, she stayed around all this time. Is that what we're supposed to do as a woman? And I know in a marriage, oh yes, you're supposed to give grace. I get all that. But if I'm seeing that before I say I do to you, and if you think I'm supposed to stay around until you decide to finally truly love me, that's not right. That's backwards. So like the other guy before him said, I also like that where he said, you know, just going through life, you know, being out there in the world, you know, he's talked to men older than him. In his 20s, he would talk to the older guys that were in their 40s and 50s and, you know, and even in their 60s, and they would tell him, like, listen, I wish I could go back in time in my 20s when I was out there playing the field and actually that woman that I remember that was a good woman, I would have treated her right and settled down with her, because some of the men that he said he was speaking to were single. They were alone. They didn't have anybody in their 50s and their 60s, or even in their 40s. And they just were like, you know, I wish I would have settled down in my 20s when I was out there basically sticking and moving, is when I had that good woman. And I should have held on to her because I let her get away. And now in my older years, when I actually want somebody to hold on to and somebody to come home to, I don't have anybody. So that's something. I think about that. Wow. I think about that because some of the men out here, I just want you to know, think about that. The ones that are out here, and you're saying that there's nothing for men out here. Okay, the women of today is so, but a lot of times and I'm not saying it's just guys that are older saying that, because you have different age groups that are saying it, and some of the guys who are younger who are listening to different platforms where they're getting, and I know they call it the red pill platforms. And I'm not saying some of there, because I had to listen to some of this stuff just to educate myself on what some of these men are saying. And I get it, the stuff that you're seeing today, if you're about that life of picking women that look like the women in these music videos, and you're all about the ones that, you know, look a certain way, then I guess, yeah, I could see where you feel like that woman's going to be, oh, I can't trust, she's going to be this way. Well, that's the woman. You're picking that woman. Are you picking the woman that's fully covered up? She's covered up and she's not showing so much of her body in public, and she, that wholesome woman who, yeah, she's still attractive, but you want that other woman who you're sitting there like, oh man, they all have this and that. But I'm like, I see different women just as I'm out and about. I see different, and I'm like, I don't know. And so what kind of women are you guys going after? Because one of the guys here said, hey, think about that. The grass is not greener on the other side. So if you have a woman already, don't think that that woman that's good for tonight and she's only for that here and now is going to be better than that woman that you have at home, or that wholesome woman that you had your eye on, because she might not be at all. There, you have your different classes of people. And the same thing with women. We have that whole thing too. But when you have that good woman, are you letting her just get away to then be like those men in their 50s and 60s where they're like, you know what? At a time where I couldn't keep my zipper up, that's the time when I should have, because I had that woman already. And I have to ask some of the men out here who have that mindset, oh, there's nothing for men out here, there are women out here, they can take everything you have, this, that, and that. Did you have that woman that you trusted and she was by your side and she was cooking and cleaning, doing all those things for you, bringing that little plate over, thinking about you? And did you have that woman already? And did you let her get away? Because like someone said in this video, this could be your karma. This could be, all right, you let that good woman get away. You broke her heart. So now you think you're going to be blessed with somebody that was similar to her. That's not going to happen, because you didn't know how to treat that one that was good right before your eyes that you had. You were dogging her out. So that's interesting to hear. This was a good video. I loved hearing the different talking points from the men that spoke in this video, and definitely hope that it adds value to some people out here, not just the men, but women, and hopefully men too. Because if you have her already, hold on to her, keep her, because if you're looking for these women that I guess men are saying they are categorized, they're just for that night. There are some women where the guy just, you know what, she's good for now, and in the morning, okay, she got to go. She's not that wife material. She's not the one I'm going to take home to my parents, to my mom. I don't want her to be her. Every person, every guy, what woman is going to be your wife, and what is it? There's categories. Actually, Luke taught me. You have your friends, your freaks, and your forevers. Are we running off our forevers? And are we relying on our freaks so much that you now don't have a forever because you were too busy dealing with the freaks? That's interesting. Wow, that's actually interesting. That's something right there. That's deep. But no, have we ran off our forever because we were given too much time to our freaks? That should have been a whole nother title, but just interesting to hear. Very good content that content creator put out there. And wow, just definitely appreciate you guys tuning in and actually taking the time to check out this reaction video. I hope it added value. I hope that you guys can take away something positive from this. And why not share it if it added value? If it's something that made you think about a past relationship, like, wow, I had that already. Go ahead and comment and let me know how that turned out for you. If you had that one person that you could have spent the rest of your life with and you let her get away, let me know how that works, how that worked for you. love to hear some feedback, and I'm going to wrap it right here. I took enough of your time. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and go ahead and click that like button if you haven't already, and share it. Why not share it with your family and friends and help grow my platform? So that was another banger reaction video, but I'm going to end it right there, and I hope you guys continue to wear your smile, stay positive. A positive mentality is a destined reality. Stay blessed, and until next time, take care.